What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of Dripping Creativity Podcast. I am your host, Chris Corvan, and in today's episode, we're going to sit down with Alex Micati, a mystery novelist with a fascinating journey into the world of writing. From his unexpected start in high school to his inspirations drawing from everyday people, we're going to dive into all of his books, including Capital Murders and its sequel, Curtain Call, writing process, everything else. It's going to be a blast. Don't forget to like, subscribe, hit the bell, leave all that. You guys know the shit by this time. Come on. This is like episode 56. Come on. All right. We're going to jump right into the conversation with Alex. Why don't you introduce yourself to everyone?
Okay, so I'll try to make this as short as possible. Well, my name is Alex. And I'm a writer of mystery novels, puns, and other stuff like shopping lists. And that's pretty much it.
Perfect. So let's kind of roll it back there. Where did the love of writing come from?
Funny story. It was actually in high school. I think it was on Monday morning, like late October, early November, and I was bored to death, so I took a piece of paper and just wrote whatever was in my head. And before that I didn't write anything. I was like mainly a reader, but I didn't see myself as a writer. So on that day I thought, well, why not? So I gave it to the teacher, and she said, come back and see me in 2 hours. And that was at like 10 in the morning, so at noon. And for the next 2 hours my heart was pounding. Like I was nervous. I was like making images in my head, like what she might tell me and everything. So as soon as noon struck, I knocked on the door. She said, come in. I walked to the desk, and she said, you know what? And I told her, I know what you're gonna tell me. Don't focus on writing, and focus on your studies, and knowledge before everything else. He said, you're absolutely wrong. I was trying to tell you, work on your dialogue. That day I thought, I became a writer.
That's a fantastic start. It's always good when you have a strong first impression with somebody that knows what they're talking about. That's great. Yeah. So then as you're going along, as you're doing all this kind of writing and building that up, what kind of inspirations were you pulling from?
Well, this might seem like a cliche, but it's like seeing my surroundings and like people talking and people acting like I won't say idiots, but like people. So that's been my inspiration for ever since I started. So
right. People watching is a fantastic way to get characters, that's for sure.
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot of interesting ones out there.
Oh my god. So many.
Has your inspirations and the way you're watching people, has that kind of evolved over the years? Like, are you starting to notice different things?
Well, I started noticing, how people are, I would say, selfish, in the sense that, they live in their own bubbles, in their own environments. And it's a good thing when you're inside and you see them walking outside, but when you see them walking on and talking on their phones, like, hello, there might be an accident coming up, So that's my I think I answered the question wrong though. Oops.
Were there any literary influences in all there? Any other authors that you?
Well, I mean, since I read mysteries, I would say, like, the Swedish mystery writers are influences of mine. English, like British, and Scottish. Not Welsh yet, but soon. Are also influences of mine, and also French writers, because my first language is French, surprisingly enough, and also they're not literary, but the influences, and my parents are pretty, mainly for the, I would say, the psychological side of characters, like the neurosis and the madness and the. Yep, I just said that my parents are mad people.
So, when it comes to being a writer with your parents, are they encouraging about the writing?
Nope.
No, really.
No. I mean, on the day I had this this happy ending situation with my teacher. I was headed like fast track to nowhere. I mean, I was hitting a wall, going nowhere. So I told my parents, I'm gonna be a writer, and they said, I mean, it's a good hobby, but it's not a job. So, I mean, they were encouraging in the non-encouragement, in the sense that when someone tells me, don't do it, like, why waste your time? That's like, work twice as hard to prove that, to shut them up, to put it politely. And when I talk about my writing to other people, they ask my friends, like, did you know about this? And they'll all say, yeah, and we did, but it's all poop. Can we say bullshit?
Oh yeah, go for it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I mean, you never know nowadays.
Oh yeah.
Oh boy.
So let's kind of dive into Capital Murders.
Yes.
It's a Canadian politics style book. What kind of inspired you to go with this setting?
Because, well, it's a funny story. I know that there's a lot of political books, but they're mainly set in Washington D.C. or London or Paris or wherever. And when I was in Ottawa, where I still am, and I thought, this is there are Canadian politics. Why not make a book out of it? And I did.
So, short of the politics stuff, what does the story entail? What's kind of the overall plot?
Oh, that's a good question. Because actually, this one I wrote it like without any guidelines or anything. I mean, it was just me and my computer, but the plot is some young woman, like late 20s, is found dead in her apartment, and who did it? But the thing is, she works like in the Prime Minister's office, so it's like kind of, for the non-Canadian listeners, it's a big place, it's like it's the main core of politics. So she works there and she sees a lot of stuff, and maybe that's what killed her.
All right. Did you end up doing a lot of research into the political system there?
Nope.
No.
Well, I mean, because the thing is with my own like habit of research is when I dive into something like politics or things like that, I tend to dive really deep. So I thought if I do, the reader might get bored. So I thought let's find balance and not do anything. I mean, just write like what basic knowledge people have, but
keeping it simple so it doesn't get bogged down in the details. I dig that.
Yep.
So how did with the process of that coming together, did any part of it shock you in how easy or difficult it was?
This one was difficult. I mean, it was because I made it difficult. I mean, I thought I gave a challenge to myself. It was, let's write a mystery that keeps like the mystery on every single page, because the readers are fickle beasts. So if they don't get hooked from page one, the novel is I mean, you could have 500 pages, but if your first sentence is not good, I mean, they'll toss it and so actually the saying goes, don't judge a book by its cover, so it should be judge a book by its first page. That being said, that was the first challenge, and the second challenge was writing a novel in my second language. So that was a fun challenge. So those were the most difficult parts, I would say, in this one.
So then going into Curtain Call there, which continues the story from Capital Murders, correct?
Yep.
Did you change how you approached writing this one?
Not that much, because I wanted to be to stay in the same, I would say, mindset as this one, as the Capital Murders. So I mean, it was the same like writing style and the same techniques, I would say. But those two gave me a lot, like to learn about writing, because those two I didn't write any outlines, anything. I was like diving in. I would say those two were like as if I was in an airplane, maybe 35,000 feet in the air, just jumping and nothing, just diving in without anything. So yeah, I mean that's why. And I think the first one, Capital Murders, had one of my favorite scenes in it. The second one, the ending will shock you if you haven't read it, but it will. I mean, I think you'll see your mom in a different light.
That actually flows very nicely into the next question there with Curtain Call being a sequel and all of that. How did you kind of ensure that it remained fresh and engaging for the readers?
Oh, that's a good question. Maybe at one point because I knew it was a sequel. I knew, but I think at one point I saw it as like maybe a standalone kind of same characters but not the same story. So like any would say, TV shows where you see the same characters, but the same main characters evolving in different environments. Yep.
So then from there, we're going to kind of take a look at the third book that came out.
Yeah.
Why don't you tell us all about that one here? Because that's...
That one, I went to Scotland in 2019, in the before COVID times, where everything was... Actually, I think it was... Yeah, before. It was November 2019. And, I mean, and I fell in love with Edinburgh. Like, I would say madly in love, but, you know, I was like, I feel like home. And, one day, funny story again, I was waiting for the bus and I saw two people holding a rug, like carrying a rug that's folded and everything. I'm like, and they had like leather coats on and everything. I'm like, that seems fishy. There might be a story there. So, and at the time I went there and I was working on another novel, which I think, I don't recall which one it was because I have like 6 or 7 on my desk right now. And I thought, as soon as I come home, I might write this story. And then COVID happened. Thankfully, it was put on hold for March, which is a good thing. So I just spent months and months about writing my novel.
Honestly, the best time. I mean, so many authors lately, that's kind of, you know, what really gave them the push. So having that time to do it, that's fantastic. So with the specific genre, kind of sticking with the suspense and mystery and all of that, what is kind of your process when it comes to creating intense and thrilling scenes? Like, how do you decide what is enough and what is too much?
I mean, that's a good thing, because for me, I think writing is like, it's like cooking, as I often say. And if you put the same plate, like if you put like a sprinkle of, I would say, hot pepper, for instance, someone would find it too hot, someone would find that it's missing, like not hot enough. So the thing is, you have to find kind of balance between those who don't eat hot stuff and those who adore hot stuff. So same goes with mystery. I mean balance is the key.
That's a fantastic way to look at it, actually. I think a lot of genres have a lot of that. Like I know horror is very much like that too, and that's fantastic. So what do you have kind of in the works right now? Is there anything you can kind of give us a little sneak peek on what you got cooking?
Hold on, what I got cooking, hold on just a second. I got come on, I got these guys.
Oh,
yeah.
Holy crap, what do we got there?
We got lots of we have 5 mystery novels, one set in Liverpool, the one I'm working on right now, one set in Edinburgh, another one I'm working on, one set in Ottawa. Off the top of my head, the hell, I mean, like that's so much. And
a lot of stuff.
Oh yeah, I mean, I think once I was counting, I think I had like 600 pages or something.
Nice. Those are some solid ones. You're missing out the Rocky Mountains, man. Come on, just come over to Alberta here and spend some time. I'm telling you, great people over here.
Actually, you know what? I'm headed to Calgary. I mean, I have to buy my ticket and book my hotel, but you know that's it. That's a formality. I'm headed to Calgary early August. So.
Excellent. Make sure to head out to Banff. You will absolutely love it, man.
It was on the list.
Definitely. Okay, so what kind of advice do you think you could give somebody who's just getting into the publishing and that side of things?
Well, I mean, it's an advice, and it's the only. I would give two advice. Advice is advice. Anyway, I would give two pieces of advice. One would be to have a team of people ready to promote works, because the first one I published was, I mean, nobody knew that I was working on social media. Nobody knew, and the promotion was basically me tweeting, "Hey, I wrote this, share the link." You know, that was a big mistake. And that's the first one. Second one would be, it's not much of an advice, but it's more like maybe it's an advice. Don't expect fame overnight. You know, those who say I sold 10,000 books last night, those are liars. You know, I mean, don't believe what you read on the internet.
Especially for starting out, those are very lofty goals for a first book. It's a very rare thing to ever happen, that's for sure. So let's actually talk about your social media and types of interactions with your fans and all of that.
Well, that, and I mean, I don't interact much with. I mean, I interact with other writers, but I mean, as far as interacting with fans goes, it's still I haven't had any interaction with meet the authors or events or anything. I tried to, but you know, it's never came to fruition. I mean, sadly.
Well, even with some of the authors that you have connected with on social media, there, have they helped you in adjusting your way of creating? Have you kind of seen what they've done and adjusted how you have done things?
Well, mainly posting on social media, because a lot of people have told me, and rightly so, that my posts came out as, you know, as if I was whining, please read my, why don't you read my books and everything. But I mean, that's the length of adjustment that I've been through.
Definitely. No, and I mean, finding the right voice on social media is important to establishing who you are. So, you know, figuring that out, we all go through it. We all have to find out what works best for us. So then, do you have any plans to kind of explore any other genres or writing styles in the future?
Well, in the pile of paper I showed you, I had two, I would say, fictional, literary fiction, which is kind of a misnomer, but you know, that's my way. Any book is fiction or literary fiction. Anyway, so I have those, and I have an outline for a romantic comedy for the lactose tolerant people, because it's gonna be cheesy, really cheesy. So in that case, I have to write one for the lactose intolerant people. Oh my god. Why? I mean, people Local shows love cheese. Cheese is the only, like, actually there are four things to define a true Canadian. One, cheese is good. Two, the leaves suck. Three, they means coffee sucks, but hey, it beats the alternative. And four, well, C, 2 and 3. There you go.
Completely agree, man. I completely agree. So let's kind of dive into some rapid fire questions here.
Yes.
And kind of see what you got there.
Sure.
One book that you can continue to read over and over again.
The phone book.
Solid answer. I dig that one. Do you prefer to write in the morning or at night?
In the morning.
Excellent. Are you a tea or a coffee drinker?
Tea.
Really? What's your go-to tea?
It's my go-to. Anyway, my go-to tea is orange pico. Go-to tea, orange pico.
That's a very good one to go to. Are you a plotter or a pantser?
Chaotic plotter.
Chaotic. Wow. That's
I mean, I plot the story, but then try to say, hey, let's give you another story. Like, sure.
Definitely. Well, actually, I think that kind of answers this one. What's one word to describe your writing style?
Undiagnosed madness. That's 2 words, but you know.
Dude, you know what? It fits with undiagnosed madness, so you're good. What is the most challenging character you've had to write?
I would say my first main character, the first Detective Carter, because it was like he's my first child, so it has to be had to be perfect for some reason.
I completely get that one for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Do you prefer heroes or anti-heroes?
Heroes to eat, anti-heroes to read.
Solid. Do you prefer standalone novels or series?
That's a good question. I mean, to write, I would say standalone, because in the series you have to, is that guy dead, or is he still alive, or there's a lot of unsure. There's a lot of questions and everything, and to read, I would say series, because I read the Millennium series, the 600 pages books, and I love them because you can, they take the time to dive into the scenery and everything. So that's good.
That's amazing. Last book you read?
Ooh, that's a good question. I'm not often a reader. I mean, I write, but I don't read. I mean, that's a good question.
What is the biggest distraction you have to face when you're writing?
Myself and the TV.
That's a great answer. That's a great answer.
And my laziness.
All solid.
Yep.
Very much the same right there. Is there any genre that you're not currently writing in that you think you would really like to give a stab at?
Comedy?
Comedy. That's a hard one. That is a very hard one.
Yeah. I mean, especially dark comedy, like dark humor and everything, because that's the one I love. So.
Hey, that's your 6th book right there for sure.
Really?
So with the next one that's going to be coming out, whichever one you decide on there, what
Mhm.
is the one word to describe that story?
Well, that depends on, because I have one with my editor right now. I have to remember which one I sent her because I finished two afterwards. I would say the one word that describes it would be rain.
Interesting word.
I won't say why, but you have to wait and see.
That's the perfect little teaser you need right there. I absolutely love that. I think that's great. Do you prefer to write on the computer, or are you more of a pen and paper type of person?
Pen and paper, because the first ones I was typing on the computer, and I realized because I'm very, 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 as I said, undiagnosed madness, but it's also undiagnosed undisciplined. So, I tend to let's go see what people say on Twitter and on threads and on this and on that and on, oh my god, and so I thought, let's buy pen and paper and have fun.
Right.
And actually also because when you write something and you realize it's not good enough, you just toss it and throw it out. You can't do that with a computer.
Like, can you just be buying a lot of computers?
I mean, hey, I'm a writer. I mean, I bought one, but it's like it's expensive.
All right, and then so before we move on to the final question, is there anything that we haven't covered that you would like to discuss?
I'm drawing a blank.
Hey, you know what? If you end up coming up with something later, we can always do it again for the next book. So that's not a problem. So then the absolute final question I have is, where can people find you and your books?
Here. Sorry. People can find me. Actually, once I gave an answer to that question, and it was typical me answer. People can find my books on beatgames.ai/Alex Micati. That's M as in Michael, I, C as in Canada, A, T as in tennis, I, and that's all my 3 books that I talked about earlier are on there. They can find me on Threads, Twitter, Instagram, on the sidewalk, sometimes after a few drinks. That's don't drink and don't drink children. It's no good. Or if you do, be sure to have a backup liver, because God knows you'll need it. And
very, very much so.
And also they can find me insufferable.
You and me both, man. You and me both. So then the absolute final thing I need you to do is just say goodbye to everyone.
If you made it that far, thank you. And we hope you enjoyed the show. And until next time, goodbye.
And that is a wrap on another fantastic episode. Thank you so much, Alex, for joining me. It was a pleasure talking with you, and it was a pleasure meeting you when you came to Calgary there. That was awesome. It was fantastic to hang out with you. As for everyone who is still here listening, thank you so much for paying attention and following along. Make sure to like and subscribe, share with your mom, share with your mom's mom, share it around, man. We need that love. Don't forget to follow me on all of the social medias. I am everywhere at Chris of the Void. This has been the Dripping Creativity Podcast, part of the Creative Coffee Cafe Network. And until next time, stay creative, stay inspired. See ya.